50 grams of protein is for a lot of us is a lot.
Sure. And some of the research that I've seen, it's even greater than that.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they're saying possibly, 30 grams per meal. So then that would be 90. It is a little struggle for some because if they're
Mhm.
not doing breakfast or
Mhm.
or however your meal schedule is,
Yeah.
but it's yeah, it can be
Yeah.
challenging.
Welcome to the Answers for Elders radio show.
And welcome everyone to Answers for Elders Radio Network, when we are heard, as you know, across the greater USA. And find us on YouTube, find us on your favorite podcast channel, or just find us on our website at answersforelders.com. One of the things that is really important is, as we age, is our health. What do you eat? How do you move? What kind of exercises do you do? But what I really want to do, what we've kind of been doing on the show lately, is we've been looking under the hood. What really causes things? How do we age and everything like that? And so I asked an incredible friend of mine, which is Kelly Fennelly. And Kelly, she is a fitness and wellness coach in the greater Seattle area. And you do not only in person, but you do Zoom coaching, you do all kinds of plans to help people based on their own individualized needs. And so, Kelly, first of all, I want to welcome you to Answers for Elders. I'm so glad you're with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today. I appreciate it.
Well, Kelly, I was told that when I went to my doctor recently, is you need to increase protein in your diet. And I would like to take this first segment, Kelly, and ask you, tell me a little bit about our bodies as we're getting older.
Sure, sure. Um, well, as we're going through these different cycles in our life, our muscle mass changes, our bones change, our metabolism, and also the nutrient values that we
Hmm.
need as well.
Hmm.
That's with
Hmm.
carbs, protein, and fats. So yes, things are changing over this spectrum of
Hmm.
time, and just women specifically. Um, as we're growing, and say post like pregnancy, then post, and then into menopause, there's greater needs for all
Hmm.
sorts of things.
Yeah.
So those are, and again, that's, all of the components of wellness, but it's quite
Yeah.
evolving. So
Yeah.
as we age.
Yeah. I did some research, and what I learned blew me away. It's like if for a 150-pound woman who is over the age of 65, she needs to take her weight and divide it by three. So, in other words, she needs 50 grams of protein every day. And I thought, well, that's pretty easy to know that
Yes.
there's a formula for that. But there's no way a lot of us even eat close to that in a day. 50 grams of protein is for a lot of us is a lot.
Sure. And some of the research that I've seen, it's even greater than that.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they're saying possibly, 30 grams per meal. So then that would be 90. And that
Amazing.
also, yeah, it also depends on the activity level. If you're taking in protein post exercise as well.
Hmm.
So yes, it is a little struggle for some because if they're
Hmm.
not doing breakfast or however your meal schedule is,
Yeah.
but it's yeah, it can be
Yeah.
challenging, and
Yeah.
so
It's
yeah.
interesting because since I've learned this, it's like one of the things that's interesting. I made a cream of asparagus or asparagus bisque the other night, right? Because I'm not a big meat eater, and I thought, well, so what did I do? My friend suggested this, which is amazing. I actually got some white beans and I put in with the soup. So as I blended, it just made it thicker. But I
Yeah.
had protein in that soup. And it was a simple little thing to do. And yet a lot of us, do we think about how we could increase more protein in our world, and how do we do that? And that's, I think, one of the things that's really interesting about, what you do is you help people live on their way of doing things, right? And then basically to integrate, what they enjoy, or, how they can do it a little bit more effectively. Would that be a good analogy, Kelly?
Yes. I mean, so I'll give you an example of 2 conversations that I had just the last 2 days. And one of them, my client, he's 87. We're trying to discuss more protein, and doesn't always like some of the shakes, but is okay with dairy. So again, everything needs to be modified. So we talked about the cottage cheese or the yogurt, and then I was encouraging him to do that, and I said, "Gosh, just throw some fruit on it too. Get some berries on there, and 'tis the season for some strawberries." But he said, "Oh yeah, I guess I could do that if he's having his egg salad sandwich and then just a little cup of cottage cheese." So then we just got in, if it's the whole fat one, then we got in 16 grams. Like, that's great. And then on another conversation was, we were talking about with a client, he was making a protein shake and doesn't do well with dairy. So then there's those milk alternatives to add to it, plus some maybe lower glycemic fruits that he could add to it. But yes, there's different hacks, and then now there's some great supplements to add, and tasteless whey protein. I mean,
I've even learned there's some sort of supplement. Am I correct? I'm just thinking that there's a kind of a coffee that actually has infused protein in it. Is that am I right?
I think I saw that. Yes. I do my own little version of that, but the little powder mix of it. But yes.
Yeah. And then you talk also about movement, and we're going to go into movement in the next segment. But as an overview, we have about a minute left. What do you recommend? How does movement affect you in aging?
Movement is critical because we are activating our muscles, getting our bone in, then activating, getting our bones, getting that bone density to stay, not go away. Flexibility, joint movement, which then it allows us to continue the activities that we want to.
Yeah. And of course, if someone has arthritis or anything like that, movement is important. And I know for me, if I'm sitting too long, oh man, my arthritis in my joint starts acting up, and I know good and well, it's like, I have got to get up, I've got to move. And sometimes I don't feel like it.
I understand.
If I'm sitting watching a movie, it's like, seriously, I don't want to, but we sometimes need to. And of course, I love that my watch reminds me it's time to stand. I have an Apple Watch, and I would strongly recommend anybody that is a senior. I know it's an investment, but it is an investment. And I mean, every day I can check what my heart rate is. I can check how well I'm sleeping, and you've talked about that of, how much REM sleep did I get? How much of that? So there's so many things that this watch does for us. And so, endorsement, but I strongly recommend an Apple Watch. So Kelly, how do we reach you?
You can reach me on my website. It's my name, kellyfennelly.com. And I'm on social media as well.
All right. Fabulous. And we'll be right back right after this. Thank you for listening. Did you know that you can discover hundreds of podcasts in our library on senior care? So visit our website and discover our decision guides that will help you also navigate decision making. Find us at answersforelders.com.